Right, folks, hope you're doing well. A little bit of football story. Of course, Jose Mourinho was sacked by Tottenham. I mean, first of all, is there any real surprise to anyone out there at all? Any surprise at all? I don't think it can be to anyone, really. Yeah, the reality is Spurs wanted someone who would come in and win trophies, but yeah, he's not good with people, really. Jose, no, not with the players. He's not good with that sort of stuff. So, yeah, and his way to play is not good either. Defensive and slow. So, yeah, so now people are saying he was sacked because of how he was playing. Really? If that's true, then that's down to the owners, and if they have to make a massive payout to Jose, tough. Tough luck. I mean, the evidence was there. The way he was at United, the way he was at Chelsea, the fact Chelsea sacked him twice, United sacked him. Real Madrid sacked him. He fell out with a lot of players wherever he goes. The only place he didn't really was Chelsea the first time round. Second time round, he fell out with a lot of players. Right? He did it at United. He did it at Real Madrid. His way of playing has been seen as negative for at least 5 years. So how the heck couldn't you see it? When you were looking at him as a possible manager, didn't you look into him as a person, the way he manages, the way he prefers to play, his teams to play? Obviously not. This sort of brings us into the other subject about this Super League. Spurs consider themselves one of the big six. Well, first of all, your decision making is awful because of the fact that you employed someone who has a bad record in the areas that you like. Jose, not good. Secondly, you haven't won the league for 60 odd years. You're a cup team. You've been a cup team for the past 60 years. You're not one of the top six in the league. Spurs certainly aren't. Arsenal aren't either. Arsenal haven't won the league for how long now? At least Spurs can say, they got to a European Cup final. Have Arsenal done it? No. And Arsenal haven't won the league for 20 years now. Be about 20 years, won't it? Nearly that, I guess. 15 to 20 years exactly when, I don't know. Don't really care. But look at the Arsenal team now in the last 10 years. Have they been one of the top six? No. Leicester have eclipsed Tottenham and Arsenal. So Leicester should be above both of those. In like the Power Six, Leicester are way above. But also, the more you look into this whole idea of a Super League, the more you realise it is an absolute crock. But the reason why is look at it from the point of view of sense for a second, wisdom, however you want to put it. Spain are apparently having 3 teams involved. Italy are having 3 teams involved. England having 6. So Spain and Italy agreed that England should have more teams, although apparently part of the reason why Spain and Italy want this super thing is because they're fed up with English teams being dominant in the European Cup. Well, if that's the case, why would they allow 6? That makes no sense. Also, when you look at the fact of the Dutch can't be involved because they've only recently signed up to another league. The Germans can't be involved because they're mainly owned by the fans, and the fans would never agree with it. So you take those 2 out of the equation, that they can never be involved in this league, or certainly can't for the foreseeable future. You're going to say that's not good. The French have decided they're not going to be involved now, so there was a possibility that the PSG had agreed to be involved, but now they're saying that they won't. So it's not a Super League. Yeah, without the Germans, without the French, without the Dutch, it's not a Super League. You have to have Ajax involved because Ajax, if you're talking about Tottenham or Arsenal being part of the Big Six, Ajax have to be considered as equal to them at least. At least equal to them. Yeah, their history in this competition is just incredible. In their own league, in European competition, it's just amazing. And what they've done in football has just been so impressive. So you have to include them. You have to include Bayern. You have to include Dortmund. But they're saying that they don't want to be involved. They have no interest. Well, partly they probably do have an interest, but because they're 51% fan owned, they can't do anything, can they? Or whatever percentages they are fan owned. But the fans basically own the clubs. So, they can't really do anything without the fans saying, yeah, we want to do this. And fans aren't going to do that. Yeah, that's the reality of the situation. Fans are going to have turned their back on it. Same as in the UK. The fans from the teams involved have already said, a lot of the fans have said they've turned their back on their teams already. We're in day one. If this continues for a year or so when they're talking about it, and it's getting ugly between the Premier League, the FA, and those 6 teams, they're going to lose an awful lot of their fan base. An awful lot of their fan base. And they don't want to do that. It's all very well having a worldwide fan base in places like the Middle East, Thailand, China, America, all those sort of places is fine. But the problem is, if you play your games in Manchester or London, Liverpool sort of area, if your local fans turn their back on you, or your national fans, you've got to hope that all these other fans are going to pay a fortune. Not just for the tickets, because the tickets are incredibly expensive, but also they're going to get airfare, probably book a hotel. Are they going to be able to do that on a regular basis? No. A lot of people are saying that part of the reason why they're doing it, these Big Six, is because they want the Premier League to guarantee them that they will qualify for the European Cup year after year after year. Whether they finish in the league, it doesn't matter. That they'll be put through. Now, the problem is the Premier League, a couple of seasons ago, gave in to the Big Six and gave them a lot higher percentage of the money. And that was a mistake. And as I said before, you look at the mistakes made and what's led to this, the fact that the FA, the Premier League, and gotta say the fans in general, allowed the Glazers to steal Manchester United. They made it all about the moneymen. They allowed the moneymen to ride roughshod over everything football related. Man United fans for years have known that the focus of the board has been money, not football. But were enough of the fans willing to do anything about it? No. So therefore, obviously, the board knew from that. Excuse me, we're making it about money. We're not making it about football. Our performances have slopped down. We've now got, certainly as the Man United, we've got a manager who has no experience. We've got coaches who are basically virgins as coaches. A manager who's basically like that. He's got a club in the Premier League relegated That's what he's done in the past. That was his big achievement so far. So that's your manager. But good luck. But they know that the fans will keep on coming. So because they know that the fans will keep on coming, that's why the Glazers are quite confident to say we can set up this Super League and it will work out okay because enough fans will still come. Well, as I've said, the problem is with regards to sport, certainly football, there's enough people who go to watch matches simply so that they can say, I was there, more than there are, true fans actually going to the games. Because a lot of true fans just can't afford the tickets. They are far too expensive. Someone pointed out the other day that even Sky Sports is really expensive for people over here. £30 to £40 a month for the football to have that as a package. Whereas in America, you can get exactly the same package, Sky Sports coverage, $10 a month, £30 to £40 a month in the UK. That's the equivalent of about $60. So it's 6 times the price in the UK than it is in America. They're UK teams playing. It should be more expensive in America than it is in the UK to watch these games, but nope. I say Sky knows that people will pay it. They'll pay it. And if they pay it, then okay. They know in America they won't pay it. That's the point, they won't. So therefore they have to put up with whatever deal they can get from over there. Right. They could easily have, even a couple of years ago, put the prices up in America, lowered the prices down in the UK, but no, they wouldn't do that. They've got fans in the UK who are quite happy to spend a lot of money to watch their teams play football. And get very, very little from it. Even though if you're one of the supporters of the Big Six, you're quite likely to be priced out of watching your teams play in the Super League. So therefore, they'll be playing, but you won't be able to see it. I mean, apparently, the whole idea of this, really, from the club's point of view, is that the club's made a huge loss. The year before COVID, apparently they made over £1 billion loss, most of the teams involved. Was it 100 million, billion, 100 million, or billion? These numbers. Yeah, I forget exactly. I think it was close to £1 billion they lost. And that's before COVID. So how much have they lost since COVID, where the gate receipts might come in? So they want to make money. And this is all about making money. But as I say, the problem is if you've stood by and if you said to Edward Wood and the Glazers, go on, you go and steal Manchester United, don't we? You get a load of debt to buy the club and put the debt on the club's books that the club have to pay for it and you don't. Don't worry. We'll still put money into the club, which we know you're going to take out because you have every year. But that's okay. We'll keep putting money in. Even though we know as a club we're going backwards, really. But that's okay. We'll keep on blindly putting money in, hoping that one day you'll wake up and you'll start doing things properly, which of course they won't. They have no reason to. Not at all. There's no realm or reason for them to do that. Not in any way, shape or form. So they won't. So there you go. Super League situation. I mean, certainly there's a lot of people talking about it who reckon that it really is just about renegotiating the Premier League situation, renegotiating the European Cup situation, trying to make sure that these 12 teams qualify, whatever. So they're guaranteed the money that comes in from that, because there's a huge amount of money that comes in from it. You know, Champions League, UEFA gets, I think, about 3 billion, they were saying. 3 point something billion they get each season for the Champions League. So basically, the clubs are pretty much saying to UEFA, we want you to give us that money and we want to manage it. We want to be in charge of that, distribute it around, etc., etc. Yeah. That is apparently what it's all about. So if that's the case, then yeah, there was a vote due for the European Cup, European whatever it is, that competition, for future, to decide how many teams they want involved in it, taking it from 30 to 36, something like that, teams involved. So if that goes ahead, it's quite likely that these 6 teams will try to break away. But if that vote gets stopped, then we'll be able to see that there's some sort of negotiation going on in the background. What exact negotiation? Don't know. Time will tell. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to find out a lot more about it. That's what I said. As football fans, don't worry about it. You know, there's a lot of people who are saying it will never happen. Yeah, I'd say it might. You can't say it will never happen, because it may very well do. It all depends, you see. I mean, if the if the people in charge of football now say to these 12, okay, you're out. You go and set up your Super League, you go and play that. You won't be playing in the Champions League, you won't be playing in the World Cup, you won't be playing in your domestic leagues. That's all you'll be playing in. Then it may very well happen, because they won't have any other choice. Yeah, they've made their bed, they can lay in it. If their own leagues and the FA back down completely and say, yeah, you can have your Super League and still have all the rest, then of course we're going to see it. The only way we won't see it is if the Premier League, the FA, the UEFA, and FIFA all get a bit of a backbone and say to these big, powerful clubs, no, you're not having it. Simple. And they make it so that it will be incredibly costly, which is really the first option. If you want this, you can have it, but you lose everything else. Then we probably won't see it. No. If that threat is made and the big teams really believe it, it will fall apart. Well, basically, all you need to do, you scare. If the Spanish are out and the Italians are out, then it's only the English teams, so it falls apart straight away. Quite like the Spanish should be out, because the Spanish are funded by the governments there, aren't they? So the local government there. So pretty much where Barcelona and Madrid are. So with that being the case, if those politicians say no, then they have to pull out. If those two pull out, Atletico Madrid will have to pull out. So that takes the Spanish out of it. And so if they're out of it, the Italians will probably just drop out anyway. Problem is, as I say, a lot of these teams, Real Madrid, lots of debt. Barcelona, lots of debt. Juventus, lots of debt. One of the Milan teams, tons of debt. They were having to borrow money. So Arsenal, I think it was, wasn't it? They had to borrow 72 million to bring a player in. They had to borrow that money. So the problem is there's a lot of teams in a lot of debt right now. And if that's the thing that's pushing it, then yeah. It just really depends. If the powers that be that are against it make it clear to those in favour that what you'll lose is far more than you could ever gain, then the whole idea will be dropped. The problem is that the Glazers have committed. Ed Woodward has committed. He was on the board of one of the boards anyway. He's dropped out of that. Man United have come out of those different football systems. Other teams have done the same. They pulled themselves out of those things. So they're going to have to go with their tails between their legs, basically. Apologising and, playing nice. Yeah. I mean, really, I think what they should do, what UEFA should do, what the Premier League and the FA should do, is take back some of what's been given to the Big Six. Now, and from Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Juventus, and the Milans, Atletico Madrid as well, take back. They've been given a lot of power, a lot of money, a lot of percentage of the monies from their leagues and from the European Cup. So take a load of that back. Say, there you go, you're out of order. So we're taking that from you. You can earn it back by good behaviour in the future. Well, because pretty much, if you don't want to come up with the same idea in 5 or 10 years' time, you've got to dissuade them to do that. One way to do that is money. Money talks. Now, that's the thing. If they're doing it because they're financially in trouble, you've got to hurt them a bit to stop them going there again. Haven't you? Really? So, it's going to be interesting. We shall see what happens. Certainly something's going to happen. We don't know what exactly. But something is going to happen, and it is going to be interesting. You take care. God bless. I will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.